They say that death is no sudden blade, but a slow unwinding, a final exhale carried on a breeze you almost feel, and then nothing. The first hour after the heart stops is the hour of silence. No blood courses through your veins, no breath stirs your chest, yet within the stillness, a storm of change begins. Your body, once a symphony of cells in perfect rhythm, now falls quiet. Oxygen-starved neurons flicker and fade, last sparks of consciousness struggling against the void. In the brain's deepest recesses, electrical whispers echo, ghostly footprints of a mind departed. In that hush, the muscles begin their first betrayals. Fingers curl, lips part, jaw stiffen, signs of rigor mortis stirring in the dark. But for now, stillness reigns, as if time itself holds its breath. Yet beneath the skin, chemistry mutates. Enzymes break down membranes, allowing potassium and calcium to flood cells. Lactic acid swells in muscles, drawing them taut like tightened ropes. Within the arteries, blood cools, settling into a pattern, livid tracings across pale skin. And the sensesdo, they fade in sequence or all at once. Some say sound is the last to go, the distant chirp of crickets, the hum of life just beyond your vision. Others claim sight lingers longesta final, fading panorama of familiar contours. Perhaps the heart remembers its beat even as it ceases. In the room where you lie, light shifts. Shadows pool beneath your form, stretching toward windows. Air grows heavy, each molecule laden with the weight of goodbye. An acrid scent of spent breath and stillness lingers, almost tangible. 3 hours after the end, the body's transformation accelerates. Autolysis awakens the self-digestion of tissues. Lysosomes burst, releasing acids that dissolve cell walls from within. Your body, once so resolute, now fragments at the molecular level. Proteins unravel. Cell membranes become permeable. Tissues soften, darken, beginning the slow alchemy of decay. A faint sweetness drifts upward, compounds you never knew slumbered in your flesh, now rising as odor. And still the silence remains, yet it is a different silence now, not the hush of sleep, but the silence of finality, a silence pregnant with the knowledge that the threshold has been crossed. Outside, the world continues. Birds sing, footsteps echo in hallways, clocks whisper away the hours. But here, in the chamber of endings, something ancient unfolds. A transformation as old as life itself, death's first rite of passage. Pause, breathe, if breath you still could. Feel the slow unraveling of form, and know that at this hour, the soul begins to sense its freedom. For in 3 days' time, the living will mourn, and the living will remember. But in these first hours, only the body's quiet surrender marks the moment of release. They speak of a space between worlds, a corridor not measured in steps, but in breaths, the liminal threshold. 48 hours have come and gone, yet you stand still, neither living nor fully gone, suspended in a twilight of becoming. In some lands, they say the soul wanders this strand for 3 days, caught between regrets and hopes, carried on currents of memory and desire. Here, the air shimmers with possibility. Colors twist at the edge of vision, faint hues you cannot name. Sounds echo soft and distant, a child's laughter, a lover's sigh, the toll of a far-off bell. Time loses meaning. A heartbeat might stretch into an era or vanish in an instant. Second and century merge. You feel weightless, yet rooted to a single point in the void. Your thoughts drift like motes of dust, clinging to fragments of your life's tapestry. In myth, this is when the soul chooses its guide. Will you follow Anubis's jackal shape through winding halls, or heed Odin's ravens across frozen plains? Perhaps a gentle angel, wings silvered in moonlight. Some traditions whisper of a bridge of reed and flame, spanning all that was and all that will be. One foot upon it grants passage, two binds you to the earth you loved. In the stillness, you hear your own name, spoken by voices grown faint, mother, child, friend, each echo a tether pulling you toward remembrance. And yet, there is a call from beyond memory, a murmur of truth unspoken, a promise of renewal whispered in the language of stars. You pause, suspended between choice and fate. No scales have been seen, no courts convened. This is the quiet before the first reckoning. Breath, a final hesitation. Then, a gentle nudge felt, not on skin, but within the core of being. The threshold shifts. A doorway appears veiled in drifting motes of light and shadow. It beckons without words. Here ends the liminal state. Moments before the third day's dawn, you gather courage. You step forward, and the veil parts. Your journey deeper into the mystery of death resumes. By the dawn of the third day, the body has become its own crucible, a vessel where life's remnants and death's alchemy collide. The skin, once warm to the touch, now cools to a pallid hush, veins etched like rivers of ice beneath thinning flesh. A faint, greenish bloom appears at the temples and chest, the first bloom of putrefaction, dark as forest shadows. Inside, autolysis rages unchecked. Lysosomes rupture, releasing enzymes that dissolve cellular architecture. Muscles loosen their grip on bones. Joints relax in a macabre release. What was structure becomes soft. What was solid melts into form. Lactic acid, once a song of exertion, now sings a dirge. Muscles stiffen in rigor mortis's final grip, then yield, only to stiffen again in a second. Stranger phase. Limbs lock in, silent testament to the body's flickering autonomy. Under the skin, gases gather, methane, hydrogen sulfide, inflating the corpse like a balloon of sorrow. Iosoft globes once blazing with sight grow cloudy, their windows to the world shuttered by protein's slow decay. The air thickens with scent, an acid tang, metallic as spilled blood. Sweet notes of decay rising like incense to unseen altars. Flies gather at windows, summoned by nature's fierce invitation. And yet, within this breakdown, patterns emerge. Mottled hues of green, purple, black like bruises of the earth itself. Liquid stained linens in pools of red-brown. The body's final offering, returning blood to soil. Temperature matters still. In cool crypts, the dance of decay slows time, stretching its cords. In sunlit courtyards, the furnace of midday accelerates the feast. Each climate writes its own verse in the corpse's requiem. By the third dusk, maggots creep, white threads wriggling and feasting hunger. They carve paths through soft tissue, sculpting hollows where organs once lay. Yet their work is but one act in a longer ritual. Predators, insects, microbes all claim their due. In temples of embalming, priests would intervene. Evisceration, natron baths, resin sealing, delaying nature's verdict. Yet even the grandest mummification cannot halt time's passage forever. Slowly, impermanence seeps through wrappings and seals. Pause. Stand at the edge of this transformation. Feel the bound between life's end and nature's renewal. For the body, in its final form, becomes a vessel once more, not for breath, but for the seeds of new life buried in the soil it joins. And as the third night deepens, the boundary dissolves. The corpse and earth entwine, completion nearing, yet the soul's voyage only halfway done. They say that even in death, the mind may stir, a final spark against the void, before the great silence swallows all. At the edge of oblivion between the second and third day, strange phenomenon emerges. Brains deprived of oxygen, sometimes awaken briefly. In a storm of electric whispers, neurons fire in convulsions of memory, last echoes of life resonating in dying synapses. In one hospital study, monitors recorded bursts of activity long after the heart lay still, a cascade of surges across the cortex, as if the mind sought to replay its greatest scenes in a final, desperate loop. Faces of loved ones, moments of joy, regrets half-formed, all flickering behind closed eyelids. You lie there, body unmoving, yet within your skull, a tempest rages. Light seeps through the darkness, a tunnel of phosphorescent glow that piques the senses. The roar of life's last currents swells, then ebbs. I see, I feel. A voice within, born of electricity and memory, gasps in silence. A tunnel stretches ahead, walls lined with shifting images. Half-glimpsed and mutable, whispers beckon from its end. Come, come home. Some who nearly died speak of a bright portalages frayed like spun glass beyond, which lies serenity. They describe a presence warm as sunlight waiting to guide them onward. Others recall a mirror reflecting every moment they befool, ever lived condensed into a single breath. Yet for most, this last flicker is too brief to grasp. A flash of insight, a shuddered vision, and then darkness deeper than dream. Chemically, it is chaos. Glutamate floods receptors, calcium floods cells, waves of depolarization sweep like wildfire. In those final seconds, the brain lights up like a dying star, brilliant and brief. Is it the soul's last gasp or the body's final scream? In the quiet that follows, there is no pain, only an echo of sensation, like footprints on water, time fragments. A minute may stretch into horizons or collapse into a pinpoint of stillness. The mind teases coherence, then releases it to the abyss. And when the last neuron fires, when the final wave subsides, a silence falls, absolute and all-encompassing. Pause. In that silence, ask yourself, what did you see? What did you feel? And what became of the you that flickered there between life and nothingness? For the soul's journey does not end with the body's blackout. It merely shifts, passing beyond the threshold of consciousness into realms unseen by living eyes. As the third day dawns, the body rests in stillness, but the soul freed of flesh moves onward, through tunnels of light, across seas of remembrance, toward the waiting hall of judgment that lies ahead. They call it the shadowed passage, a realm not of earth or ether, but of memory and longing. On the third dawn, the body lies cold, yet the soul drifts free, untethered by flesh, yet bound by yearning. Here, in limbo, time's fabric thins. In ancient Egypt, the Ba and Ka wander together. The Bayor, personality humanoid bird, wings poised. The Kathe, life force mirrored form that seeks reunion. For 3 days, they commune at the tomb's threshold, whispering secrets of the flesh and reflections of the self. In Christian thought, the soul awaits the last judgment, an expectant hush as angels weigh deeds on golden scales, a vigil kept by saints' prayers, bridging heaven and earth. In Hindu lore, Yama's messengers guide shades across the first of 4 tribunal siege spanning 3 days, each testing attachment and truth. You drift amid these echoes, no geography holds you, only landscapes shaped by your own memories. A father's laugh beside a summer stream, a farewell kiss beneath the moon, a promise broken at dawn. Then come the psychopomps guides of departed souls. Anubis, jackal-headed, steps from desert mists. Hermes, winged sandals stirred at twilight. Vayu's breeze, gentle yet insistent. They beckon with silent hands, offering paths through starlit corridors or across rivers of dream. Yet limbo is not peaceful shadows flicker with doubts. Did I live well? Was I loved enough? Will I remember who I was? Voices of ancestors rise and fall, murmuring prayers and regrets. Ritual drums beat in distant halls, calling you home or onward. Pause. Feel the pull of earth and sky, the tug of what was and what may be. And when the third night falls, make your choice, to linger in memory's embrace or to follow the guide into the waiting beyond. They stand at the crossroads of life and death, figures clad in mystery, charged with carrying souls across the veil. In the duat, Anubis awaits eyes of onyx gleaming. He offers not just passage, but the scales that weigh the heart's truth. In Greek tales, Hermes Psychopompas walks between worlds with winged sandals, his caduceus glowing with twin serpents' wisdom. In Siberian taiga, a shaman in furs leads spirits through tunnels of ice, his drum's heartbeat guiding every step. In Mexico, the Dead Cross marigold bridges, met by Katrina's graceful hand, her grin both comfort and warning. Each guide reflects culture's hope and fear. A bridge, a ferry, a wind, a drum. They carry souls not in silence, but in ritual and rhythm. You stand before Annette's form shifting. Jackal head fades into a raven's beak. Feathered wings dissolve into mist. Yet every guise speaks the same promise. Follow me. You step forward, heartbeat drumming in the void. Behind you, memories waver, faces of the living blur at the edge of vision. Ahead, a path glows with quiet light. They lead you past great gates of bone, through gardens of starlight, across rivers humming with eternity. Questions echo in your mind. Will I remember this guide in waking life? Do I trust this silent hand? Pause. Reach out and feel its warmth or cold. Let your heart choose the companion for the soul's voyage. And with the guide's first step, you cross into realms unseen, leaving the world of flesh for adventures of spirit. On the third day, the living convene in hushed circles, gathering memories like flowers at the grave. In Orthodox churches, bells toll 9 times, calling faithful to liturgy for the departed. Candles burn in trembling rows, light stolen from earth offered back to heaven. In Mexico, families craft ofrendas altars bright with marigolds and pan de muerto, sugar skulls smiling amid incense smoke. In Japan, oban lanterns drift on rivers, paper lights carrying messages to ancestors. In Ghana, drums call the spirits home, kente cloth wrapped around silent chairs. Each ritual binds living to dead, mourning to memory, lost to love. You stand at a table draped in black, photos of the beloved lined in silver frames. You light a candle for each moment shared, laughter and rain, embrace after parting, whispered dreams. Words form on your lip sprayers, apologies, farewells, written on slips of paper, then released into fire, into water, into wind. The air grows heavy with incense of sandalwood and myrrh, smoke swirling like dancing spirits. Mourners speak the name aloud, reviving echoes lost in tombs. This is no mere ceremony. It is magic of the living, a spell woven from remembrance, a bridge erected with tears and laughter. Pause. Feel the communion of souls, those here and those beyond the veil, and know, in remembering, we keep them alive, even as they journey onward through the days to come. Beneath the rituals lies a trial unseen, a verdict shaped by deeds and whispered intention. In some beliefs, the soul faces its own reflection first, an inner tribunal where conscience plays judge, no scales, no gods, only self-knowledge and remorse. In Zoroastrian tradition, the Chinvat bridge tests souls. Good deeds weigh heavy, guiding you across. Evil pulls you into the abyss below. In Egyptian lore, the Hall of Two Truths stands ready. 40, two judges await, scales poised, feathers of Ma'at gleaming. But before any god speaks, the soul hears its own confession. Every slight, every kindness, every unspoken word echoes through corridors of conscience. In darkness, you witness yourself, moments of cruelty, cold winds that stung others, acts of compassion, sparks of warmth in cold nights. There is no hiding in this hall. Your name is spoken aloud by unseen voices, ancient accents weaving your story in threads of light. A hush follows, deeper than any tomb, then a presence at your side, perhaps Anubis, perhaps only your own soul's shape. You feel the scales settle, not on a pan, but within your being, guilt and grace in silent balance. A voice, neither harsh nor kind, whispers, "Your path is set. Face the consequences beyond mercy, beyond fear." Pause. Stand in the stillness of self-judgment, feel the weight of truth without judge or jury, and prepare for the next phase, mercy's embrace or oblivion's end. By the third night's end, the crossroads appear once more. One path spirals upward, bathed in silver-blue radiance. The other descends into velvet shadow, dotted with flickering stars. Do you ascend to realms of light, to rebirth or glory, or return to earth's embrace, to second breath in mortal form? In some tales, souls ride celestial barges to the field of reeds forever, to rest among familiar fields, under gentle suns. In others, the journey loops back, rebirth's wheel turning anew, a mother's cry in dawn's first light, signaling return. Near-death survivors speak of choice, a pulling force toward the living, a tug of duty to love left behind. You stand at the fork, heart echoing like temple drums. Memories and hopes converge, threads in a tapestry of fate. A whisper, "Stay." Another, "Go." Your wings, if you have them, flutter with longing. Your feet unchained, ache for soil and breath. Pause. Feel both worlds beckon, earth's scent and heaven's glow. Then, with the soul's quiet resolve, choose. Step onto the upward path, and light enfolds you, a final embrace before the great beyond. Or turn back, and the world of the living greets you, a gasp of air, a blink of eyes, a second chance. For what really happens 3 days after you die may be the greatest choice you will ever make.